My name is Sergio Bambarén, chemical engineer by career and writer because I think life works in wonderful ways if you follow the voice of your heart. For me, being in this place close to the ocean and with the sun caressing my face, the wind, the sound of the waves, this is what true happiness is for me. And it didn't take me too much to discover it. You see, I was born in a city far away from the place I'm now, in a house that overlooked the ocean. And since I can remember, when I opened my eyes and saw the ocean for the first time, I knew I would fell in love with the ocean. And for some reason that now I can understand, but I couldn't understand at that time, I knew that the ocean would be my best friend, my companion, someone I could talk to, someone who would always listen to me, and someone who took me in an amazing journey, the journey of life, and showed me so many things that I had only dreamed about. It's amazing how life flies, but it goes faster when you're happy, truly happy. And in some way, life has taught me to caress every moment of life, because it's so short. But at the same time, there are moments that the memory is so short, but it will last for a lifetime. I'm a chemical engineer by career, and a surfer, a diver. I love to swim with whales, dolphins, and all the creatures of this beautiful friend I call the ocean. But 50 years ago, the world was so different. I had a wonderful youth, two wonderful parents that showed me the value of things in life. My father, a psychiatrist, who always made me question what life was all about. And that the most important thing was to try to find the true purpose of your life. The reason why you came here to Earth, to make of your life a song of joy, and in the meantime, also help others fulfill their dreams. From my mother, I cannot remember too much because she passed away when she was young. But she had two hearts, because I've never known a woman that had so much love to give. And one heart was not enough. One thing I would love to say, as I always say it in my presentations, is please, don't think I'm someone special. I'm not just a human, a simple human being, like anyone else, that one day decided to follow the voice of his heart, to listen to the voice of his heart, and not the voice of the crowds. And for me, that was the moment in which I started to discover who I truly was and what my mission in this beautiful planet called Earth was. But I was talking about 50 years ago. 50 years ago, it was such a different world to the world we live now. There was no technology, or the technology was not so developed as it is right now. Forget about cell phones, internet, viral nets. And I found out with time that I was blessed to be born in that time. Because you could be so happy with so few things. Life was so simple. I remember myself in my neighborhood with my friends, playing simple games, you know, maybe a little calcio. uh, but it was a wonder time, the wonder years. And I grew in this neighborhood that with friends that I still keep in touch, and in some way made me start to realize that life was a song of joy. Of course, later I would also find that there are so painful moments in life that you think you're really gonna give up. But you have to let the storm go by, because the storm always goes by. And once again the sun shines. And that's a lesson you have to learn, so you will never repeat the same mistake. As I was telling you, I decided since I was 7 years old to be close to the ocean, and that's when I discovered surfing. And the first time I stood up on a surfboard and glide in this amazing wall of water, I knew I was going to be hooked for the rest of my life. And I discovered something else, that for me, the place I feel the best is close to nature. Be in the mountains, be in the ocean, anywhere. Watching the stars at night, just being, living the life I was supposed to live. So, to make a long story short, time is always short for everything. I dreamed of going around the world surfing, and always in search of the perfect wave. And I was lucky enough that when I finished high school, I went to study to the United States, to Texas. But to tell you the truth, and let's keep this a secret, I knew that it was very important to have a career at that time. You should be a lawyer, you should be a doctor, you should be an engineer, because it was a totally different world. But the main reason I went to study to the States was that every time I had holidays with 2 or 3 soul surfer friends, we would escape to all these amazing places in the world with amazing surfing waves that I had dreamed since I was a kid that I would surf one day. I never thought I would do it. I could do it. But now, 50 years later, I've surfed more waves and more beaches that I can even imagine I could. So I became a chemical engineer, and it was a good thing too. Studying what I had the time, short time, to go to places like Mexico, to California, to Hawaii, to Central America, gave me the opportunity to blend my life with knowledge, and at the same time keep doing the things I love to do. After 4 years, I graduated as a chemical engineer. Then I obtained an MBA, a Master in Business and Administration. And everything was set to do what you were supposed to do, to be successful in life. Because I've been a traveler all my life, I decided to travel to Australia. And in Australia, I was lucky enough to be in a company, a multinational company, that I was in charge of all Southeast Asia and Australia, and New Zealand. And life started to give me what they had promised me since I was a kid. What I now call all these material toys that are supposed to make your life happier. You know, the fancy car, the beautiful house, money, which I know it's important, but up to a point, at least for me. And all the things that at that time was called to be a successful person, to 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 be able to reach the top of the mountain. And I did it. You know, every time I would travel first class, sometimes I would use the jet of the company. And it was amazing because I love knowing different worlds, knowing different countries. And I was lucky enough to go through all the countries in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. And that gave me one of the most important lessons in life. The principles are the same everywhere, but not the traditions. If you're born in a Catholic country, as I was born, you celebrate Christmas, the 24th of December or 25th of December. But then I realized that most of the people in the world didn't celebrate Christmas because they didn't have the same traditions I had. And that opened my mind to see the world in a different way. And when I started to see in a different way the world, as I said before, I discovered that traditions are just part of the place you are born in, but principles, they are universal. Nobody chooses where to be born or how to be born, or what color of his skin he has. But I can assure you that through all my travels around the world, and I've circled the world 3 times, always in search of the perfect wave, with my surfing and my brother the ocean, I can guarantee you that we're all human beings looking for the same thing, to live a happy and fulfilling life. And that's what made everything so crystal clear for me. That what you see in the outside has nothing to do with what you are born inside of you. And here I can quote as something I always say. As long as my spiritual life is fine, everything else will be fine. I've learned to live camping in the mountains or sleeping in a 5-star hotel. But the most important thing is how I feel inside, and the way I see life, and the lessons that life gives me. So again, I was in the top of my career, and to tell you the truth, after 5 or 6 months, I discovered that, all these material possessions, all these material toys that life had given me, never gave me the happiness that society promised me that it would give me. I was a wreck. I was the general manager of a huge multinational company, and I've never been so sad in my life. Because I realized that I didn't work to live anymore. I lived to work. And that took away from me the most precious gift that I think any human being can have. His time. The time to do the things he loves. No matter what. We all are free to choose what we love to do. But in order to really understand what we love to do, we have to listen to the voice of our heart. Sooner or later you will realize that if you get into the commitment of finding and discovering who you are and what your mission in life is, all the voices that surround you start to turn into noise. You have to listen to the voice of your heart, because the voice of your heart is what you are. And that will clearly tell you what your mission in this world is, and will take you in a journey of discovery and understanding and learning that you would never have imagined you had the power to make it come true. So one day I decided to quit my job. I took a really tough decision, because you can imagine now, being a successful writer, it's easy to say it, but at that time it was a very difficult decision. I was going against the flow. People thought I was crazy. People thought I was, why did you spend so much time and so much hard work to achieve something that at the end you threw it away? And now, looking back, I can understand that I had to do it, because it was a lesson of life. And that lesson of life gave me exactly the tools to say, enough is enough. I need to live the life I was meant to live. I took a sabbatical year after quitting my job and went surfing to Europe. And the only things I took in my little van was my surfboard, my guitar, my dreams, and a small computer, well, a big computer, a laptop at that time, because the technology was just starting to begin with computers and laptops. I fell in love with Portugal. I discovered beautiful waves in Portugal, and one of the persons I've listened to a lot in my life is Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs always said, follow the dots that life places in front of you. And I guess that's one of the main things, one of the secrets to really discover the true purpose of your life. They will appear sometimes only once. And if you don't take the opportunity, no matter what others say, but just listening to your inner voice, you will travel a path that you will never regret. So I stayed in Portugal for 3 months. I fell in love with the waves, the ocean, the people. And one day I was surfing in the outskirts of Lisbon, and suddenly this amazing dolphin appeared. It was very strange for me, because dolphins normally don't live in such cold waters. But every time I caught a wave, the dolphin would catch the same wave, and we would surf the waves together. It's easy to tell you, but if you could imagine what I feel inside of me, the experience of being with a totally different creature in such harmony with the world and the universe, doing the thing you love the most. Those are the memories that will stay in your hard disk forever, and will probably give you the tools to build the life you always dreamed to live, and to fulfill so many things as time goes by. I surfed with this dolphin at night and at day because the waves were not too big. There was a beautiful moon. The ocean looked like a gold mirror for two nights and 3 days. And it's been one of the most amazing experiences I had in my life. One day, of course, a wild dolphin, and nature is where I feel my best. He said goodbye. And he went back to his world and I went back to mine. And when I went back to my camper van, I opened my laptop because I was in a very tight budget. And I had to every day write in my laptop the expenses of the day because I had taken a sabbatical year and I needed to be sure that the money was enough for that sabbatical year. After surfing with this dolphin, and the dolphin went to where he had to go, that night I opened my laptop, and the only thing I can explain is that I had some kind of catharsis. You see, life works, as I said before, life works in strange but wonderful ways. Life made me a writer. I never thought about being a writer. But in that instant, after following the dots, surfing with this magnificent creature, and going back to my camper and opening my laptop, I had a catharsis. That's the only way I can explain it. And I wrote a very small book that came directly from my heart without going through my brain or my mind, directly to my hands. And I did this for 3 weeks, every night. Once I finished it, I closed it. I remember it was late at night. There was a huge storm in the coast of Portugal. I've always been a person who wants to live my life to the limit. And suddenly I climbed some rocks. There was a huge thunderstorm. I stared at the ocean. And finally, I found the key to open the golden cage I had placed myself when I believed before the material possession would give me the happiness I was looking for. And at that exact moment, I felt like that 7-year-old kid that was just happy by watching the ocean, sunset, people surfing, the simple things of life. The simple things of life that are what true happiness are made of. So I quit my job, I wrote a book, and went back to Australia. They offered me to publish my book, and that's where the story starts. The life I always wanted to live. Time is always cruel. I know this. I could talk about so many other things, but if there's something I would love to share with you, is that throughout my lifetime, and now that I wrote 20 books, a simple book in which I express what I felt about the world, but I never thought that so many people were thinking the same, questioning their life the way I was questioning mine. That made all the difference. And again, forgive me. There's no difference who writes the book or who reads the book. The important thing is that we're starting to open our eyes to what the true purpose of living this life is. I could say so many things now that I took all these difficult decisions in my life, but what I will try to do is just give you some hints that at least work for me and that have really made my life a song of joy. Always live, never exist. Keep your life simple, because if you are able to live a simple life throughout a whole lifetime, you will live a life that it's second to none. There's nothing wrong with having material possessions, but live a quiet life and share what you don't need with others, because it will always be better to give rather than to get. And for me, giving is the best gift that life has given me. Sharing with others all the things that I've learned, and at least having the opportunity to tell them. You can take them or you can leave them. Trust in your heart. Trust in what you want to do. Don't listen to others when they tell you what you should do of your life. There are some wise people, most of them really simple people, people that have transcend material possessions and a life in which they are truly happy no matter where they are or how they are. And if you have a problem, never forget, you will suffer, but learn so you don't make the same mistake again. Remember, you only live once. So try to make of the biggest dream of your life that remembering that you came to this world with nothing and that you will leave this world with nothing. The only dream I have left, and now that I'm working to save the oceans and all the creatures, because we're going through such tough times, wars, hunger. I mean, we're making of the world a mess. The climate change, destroying our oceans. I have a final huge dream in my life, and I will do everything possible to help save the oceans. Dream it, do it, done it. And what I wanted to say, just to end, is thank you for the opportunity of expressing myself and sharing with you my life, my failures, my triumphs, and never forget that I'm a simple human being, just like anyone else. There's nothing special with me. Maybe the only difference was that I was able, at a very young age, to listen to the voice of my heart and make a friend as the ocean. To finish, as I was saying before, the only wish I have left in life is that the day I have to leave this world, I hope that I will go out with the same way I came, with nothing. But I hope I can leave this world a little better than I found it. If I can change, or I can help one person in the whole world to fulfill his dreams, my job here on earth is done. Yes, I'm 63 years old. Yesterday I had a wonderful surfing session. A lot of people say I'm too old for that kind of bullshit. But trust me, I will die in the crest of a wave because that's who I am. And if I've discovered and learned what to do, is always be totally true to myself, no matter what the rest says. I love you. God bless you. And I hope that you will find the true purpose of your life, live the life you came to this world to live, and spread the word and make others happy. Making others happy is the best gift you can get in life. God bless you. My name is Sergio Bambarén, and I'm a true dreamer, always at the side of the ocean. And that's a promise I will keep until the day I have to leave this world. I love you. Thank you for listening to Humble Dreamer.